Kia ora from Aotearoa, Poppy here, with Mayan energy discussion about the big picture of everything that's going on. So currently we are approaching the depth of the Nightwave in Nightwave 114 of the 9th wave, which are the unity consciousness waves of creation. And as we are human and here to learn and grow, we are very much a part of this. Okay, so it's a time to have unwavering faith in the divine plan and to also realize that this is not spiritual warfare. People talk about spiritual warfare, which maybe in New Age circles it is the definition, warfare. But warfare is duality, it is not unity. It is a time to be brave and to be strong and to be around people in the community, because we need each other right now. It's not a time for us to be on our own anymore, just doing our own growth, but it's actually a time of meeting and merging and supporting people, while the deconstruction and the crumbling of the old systems and the matrix brings a lot of chaos in the consciousness field. We actually keep it calmer and more peaceful by maintaining that within ourselves, and lightness and playful and being able to laugh at life. And for some that means laughing at, like, okay, I had a damn good go, but I've still got my soul. So it's in the water Trecina. The whole Nightwave is in the water Trecina, and we're still approaching the very end of the water Trecina. So we see the ripening and the fruiting of what that 13-day period can bring us. So it's a time of ancient remembrance, and the waters of Papatūānuku, Mother Earth, the feminine source of our being. So memory is in the water, and the purification of our blood and bodily fluids reveals the mysteries and memories of what it was to live in balance with nature. It's been forgotten, largely. The Atlantis and Lemuria rerun may be in our consciousness as we close out this grand cycle of time. The memory is in the waters of life, but most human waters are highly polluted now, with all kinds of solutions and chemicals and numbing compounds in it. So a great portion of humanity is vulnerable now to frequencies and signals and sigils that connect with the pollutants that were designed by Atlantean-like technology. And this is similar to other grand cycles of time. And if we are able to connect with our ancient remembrance, we will remember some of those times. So it's a competitive scenario, so forceful that the agenda has been killing our source mother. She is regaining her well-being deeply within, with the human beings that cherish her. We do it together. So these human beings are similar to the Lemurians, who once lived shamanic, harmonious and beautiful lives as one with nature's law. The Atlanteans ones that are alive today, think of Starlink for example, things like that, have creamed resources through the separating factors of the 6th wave, i.e. they have accumulated masses of money to fund their scientific projects to compete. And there was an era within the 6th wave, was the era within the Mayan calendar when religions and science and politics and the money system, everything that causes separation, was put in, and it was part of our conscious development, but it's time that we let it go before we kill our planet. So while Starlink was being made and technology littered the skies to spy and compete on the illusions of separated factions of humanity, and war and duality prevailed in the left brain dominant minds of the patriarchy, The energy of our mother has been clamped down and smothered by the human consciousness that has colluded with it. You know, the human consciousness that thinks it's successful, that gets awards for their scientific breakthroughs, that competes to strive to be the best, to be at the top of the hierarchy. Very dualistic. Spin doctors filled the limited news to the human beings who relied on believing in the superficial matrix covering of our planet, rather than the guidance of our feminine source, our cosmic mother. Humanity was programmed to suppress the feminine creative force of life and seek after only a masculine God source that was sort of like up there in the clouds somewhere. People neglected their bodies and denied their physical body temples that originally had everything, so there was full access to connect and harmonize with nature. Their pineal glands worked. They could see, they could connect, they could commune directly with nature, hear the guidance, and tread with love and beauty upon her beautiful body. So we each need our purification practices to access the free-flowing waters of remembrance that guide us back to wellness, health, and balance. And furthermore, when we purify ourselves, we purify on behalf of the planet, and we become conduits of connection with nature, remembering her ways. Purification needs to be happening now that allows a free flow circulation of cosmic energy through us. It's not just a spiritual practice, it's very physical and involves the movement of the physical. The physical has been judged as dense, and our mother is physical. Yet, if we find the balance through our feet in connection with her, and we tap into her goodness and energy and share ours with her, it feels far from dense. It can feel blissful, beautiful, like being held by our mother. It's the basic foundation of our being. So programming to build up treasures in heaven by being good. This is the dualistic idea of good and bad, the artificial tree of the knowledge of good and evil that comes through in different religious texts and many. The focus on death and the afterlife as some kind of victory over actually sharing life with our cosmic source parents now. And, you know, many people have, over time, have been burnt and persecuted and targeted and killed when they have appeared shamanic, magical, in tune with nature. And most, especially women, have been targeted in witch hunts and the like. The targeting continues to hunt down and eradicate those who defend natural living until we burst through with collective consciousness. So it's getting away from this selfish, greedy idea of only taking care of ourselves or competing for money and competing for resources which actually still harm the earth. So the system is, I'll leave that. But we are here to master ourselves. And those of us who still rely on being led are being led towards destruction. And I even know people that would never have gone into been sucked into this technology, this unnatural way of living by putting harmful substances in their body. They've actually been led by their own gurus. They've been led through New Age programs. They've been led through frequencies and sigils. And because they have not had the ability to tune in to themselves, to know themselves. Knowing ourselves is knowing the earth. We are of her, we are one with her, and we will know ourselves more as nature, because we are nature, by knowing nature. And the only reliable source of love and truth is direct connection with source. And this is the balance with the feminine and masculine source energies. As communities now, we need to be finding ways of sharing and caring without it always being a financial transaction. In fact, all financial transactions, keep it alive. So we have to kind of just keep dropping it, and keep dropping it as much as we can, somehow staying alive to do it. You know, how's your garden growing? I spent time in the garden yesterday, and it's just so lovely to connect with nature and tend to nature, and like when you put those new seedlings in, holding them and having a little prayer for them, like connecting with them. You know, this is our return. There's medicinal plants and herbs everywhere. We need to learn how to use everything that is at hand. You know, ideally it comes through the purification of our being, but unless we have purified ourselves, and that includes and really is important that we physically purify ourselves, otherwise our information is tainted. People tune into all kinds of entities, all kinds of beings, all kinds of things which are not one. They are, well, I guess everything is one, but they don't necessarily have the best interests of creation there, you know. It's actually the stillness of nature. Just remember that all news, doesn't matter whether it's conspiracy so-called or whatever, it's all a second-hand interpretation. There may be parts in our being that resonate and know and pick it up, and that's great, but too much exposure to all of this can actually really throw us from our groundedness, our being, our connection. So we really need to be very grounded, deeply, deeply within the earth, and we need to be very connected with the Father Source through the open crown chakra that goes directly to the cosmic axis, without all the sideliners coming in, taking our attention, distracting us, proving that we're clever and we can make lots of money because we've got a clever gift or a clever talent. But actually moving forward with absolute care and compassion. This is the feminine way, which has been neglected. It's to sit in circles, it's to collaborate, it's to find ways that we move ahead. It involves patience. You know, when you have been a mother, you know it takes years of patience to raise a child. And just like our mother has patiently waited for us to reconnect with her, and she celebrates each time there's a reconnection with her. I'm really aware that at the very bottom of this night wave, we're going into a new Tracina, and it's the Tracina of wind, and that is our spiritual connection with the Heavenly Father. It is the Wairua, or the spirit that can move and circulate freely through our being. But that cosmic connection and that cosmic consciousness cannot move freely through our being unless we have a purified system that has released stagnation, has released obstacles, and that we get that cosmic energy or cosmic love flowing freely through the whole body being. And then we are actually getting true guidance and true knowledge about everything. Now we need this guidance because our world is going through such rapid change. We're having to learn how to live by nature again. We also have to learn how to be safe in communities where people are going crazy and where people who are very disconnected are lashing out at other human beings. And that's also, like, everything that's going on around us is showing us what needs to be done. We probably still have a lot of work to do in knowing that we can be safe. But the only thing that we have is our soul, and that is the thing that we need to look after. Our body is the temple of that soul, so let's look after that, and let's look after our connection with spirit, so that we can grow according and alignment with nature. And here we have this beautiful harbour, which used to be pristine, and still see beauty and connection. These waters still hold the memory. But as we purify and as we cleanse, I know that we will restore these places back to their former glory, and we will know how to reforest or do whatever needs to be done so that all of the silt doesn't come off all the farmland, that the cows aren't just shitting into the water all the time while they're being milked for all of their worth for money. Okay, I'm glad that our next Trisina, our next day wave will be in the energy of 10 monkey, and we will be challenged, but we also have that opportunity to stay light and playful. We can stay light and playful, and we can rise above all that is going on because of our faith and because of our trust and because of our guidance with Papatūānuku and Ranginui, Mother Earth, Father Sky, us centered, held like children within the two, we're between the two, not pushing them apart anymore in separation for the human will to come forward, but to almost to go back and be held and spend time in nature, to be at peace and to hold that consciousness which serves nature the best. So much love to you all. Blessings on your journey. Thank you all who love and cherish the earth. I am alive today because of my love and my cherishing of the earth. I've had much targeting. I've had much challenge because I did not go along with the programs that my family and wanted to go along for. I would not be bought. I did not want to sell my soul. And even though there was suffering, I did not lose it. So I'm grateful, and all of us have to do that. And I think we're all aware of actually what it takes to really take this responsibility for our precious being, for our precious soul within this precious creation. Blessings.